Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate you for tuning in live, listening to replay. This is the vault, episode 694, private banking versus public banking. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. You're now tuned in to the voice of Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. And really excited to do this episode. We actually just did a private event, and one of the topics that we talked about was private banking. And it's just interesting because when you get to a place where, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, I know about the public stuff, but I always knew it was something else. And they never really know that the private it came before the public, but they understand that there's things called systems. Some people understand there are things called dead entities. Some people understand what rulership looks like. Some people understand what association looks like. And so when we get into this banking now, this isn't legal advice or financial advice. It's a conversation to the individuals that understand there is another side of banking. And we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to do a series here because we're going to bring in some professionals that can speak on the private banking as the public banking. We already know what you're getting. You're getting retail banking. But what happens after you cross that $250,000 threshold? So many people think, they say, oh man, the money's insured by the government. Right. But who insures your private wealth? How are you insuring your private wealth? Not your public wealth, your private wealth. Not the public money you put into a public bank. How are you insuring your private wealth? Whoa, whoa, whoa. New topic today. New conversation today. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this private banking situation. Oh, Trust Christian, I'm going to do the private banking. I'm in the banking. I want to be in trust. I want to make sure that I got the private banking. Okay. So what's private banking look like to you? Is that still you using a public bank to put money into an account and utilize that for expenses and things of that nature? Or is it you going into private banking, which deals with the private contracts, which are going to be the insurance, which are going to be private insurance contracts? Oh man, I didn't wake up today and think I was going to buy an insurance contract and then think I could use that for a banking policy. Is the money insured on the public side? Yeah. But you didn't know about the private side, so the private side looks like a true insurance policy. And so many are skipping over the steps, so we're going to address it. We're going to do a series because so many, oh man, Trust Christian, I'm doing private banking in my trust in the bank account on the public retail side. They treat me like a normal depositor. I'm a regular person. I got a trust though. I went into the bank, I got a trust. They didn't treat me any different than when I had a regular bank account in my personal name. Because you're on the public side. They charging me interest. I gotta pay taxes when I make money on the public side. It doesn't work like that on the private side? No. It's a private contract. It's without the government. Really? Yes. They understand the law. Insurance been around longer than the government. What makes you think they're gonna be bigger, smaller than the government? What makes you think the government gonna be bigger than insurance? The government doesn't even insure the money, and they got limits on how much they insure. That's what welfare is. It's to protect you from your own willful ignorance. And that's why they have a classification in the public and in general. It's called minors and majorities. And they consider most of the population a minor because they don't know how to handle their financial affairs because they've been given public information and that's all they stuck with. Oh, I'm going to go to the public side and put money into the public bank account. Right. What happened to the private insurance contracts that you're going to use to give money to your children so the government doesn't tax you on it? Does the government tax you on an insurance policy when you give it to your children? Do you know that? Or is it just, oh man, government, they gonna take everything from me. I'm gonna work as a slave for the government my whole life so somebody else can benefit. Cause if I make too much money off of the private, and they know it, the government know it, then hey, they gonna tax me out of it. They say I can't even collect the social insurance now, but I paid into it. Right. Our people of this generation know the biggest scam that's going on. That the government's pulling over your eyes. Oh man, I love the U.S. government. Yeah, sure, you love the U.S. government, but they over here, you contributing to a program that you think is defunct, and the government knows this. They told it people already. Yeah, supposedly it's going to be insolvent. Supposedly we're not managing the people's wealth properly. Supposedly when you get this money, you can't really live in the highest places like the politicians, but you can live in some lowly place for a few $100s a month because you practice public banking. This is just the reality. Oh man, Trust Christian, I didn't know about the private insurance. I don't know how to use that stuff. I don't know somebody that could do it for me. Right, because it's private. You got to find the right people. You have to get those relationships, which we're going to do a series. So it isn't a question of, oh no, Trust Christian, you didn't bring me anybody. You just talking, man. You just go tell us so we supposed to be a private banking. You teasing me. Oh, I'm going to try to do private banking, but I don't really know how to do it. So I'm going to tell people I practice private banking because I got to trust. I'm in trust. Okay. So it's just interesting to see the marketplace, like things that we had from the event. We got people sitting talking about, especially like when you get into the environment of people that make a certain amount of money, they don't even have to pay for the insurance anymore because you're insurable. And the bank will pay for the policy for you. On the public side, they'll pay for the policy for you. On the private side, they'll pay for the policy for you. Quote unquote, you, quote unquote. For sure. No doubt about it. Because you have a certain amount of money. You're a player or somebody that makes significant income. You got contract already showing it. Sure, insurable. Think about it. Banks buy corporate owned life insurance. And privately owned companies buy corporate owned life insurance. They buy the corporation's insurance. They buy it. Warren Buffett is in the business of that business for sure. Insurance for sure. Is he doing it publicly or privately though? Do you hear about Warren Buffett talking about something? Oh, I got a public bank? No, because he understands private banking. He got A stock. He has B stock. He understands private banking. He knows how to raise money privately. And it's so beautiful to be in this space because you see there are banks that are local banks to states. So it's always blew our mind how a certain culture, they wouldn't start their own banks. They don't want to start their own banks. They want to do everything else. You talk about a generation of people, Generation Zers, talking about they want to be a TikTok star. Why don't they want to start their own private bank? But they believe in crypto. Do you hear the nonsense? Oh man, I want to be a celebrity. They don't want to practice private banking. Why? Because private banking isn't taught in the public. It doesn't look sexy, but it's wealthy. Wealth is held in private banks. It's held in insurance policies, clearly. Wealth is passed along through private contracts. How is it? What public contract? What contract do you have that's in the public? Public contracts. In the private, you have private contracts. It's just really simple. You have private banking contracts. Those contracts have been around before the government. What are some of the oldest contracts that look like private banking? The insurance contract. No, don't say it again. You keep talking about insurance, Trust Christian, and I thought that was for the death benefit. Cause we educate multiple people here. I thought it was for the death benefit. I gotta get insurance for the death benefit. That's all I'm thinking about is the death benefit. I'm gonna get term, and if it don't happen, it don't happen. I mean, if I get this, and it don't happen, it don't happen. Right? They're not using it for banking. It's an education though. They're not using it for banking. They're using it for the death benefit. So then you go to the public side. They doing the same thing. Oh, I'm gonna get a 401k. I'm gonna kick the can down the road. I'm gonna defer my taxes. How you deferring your taxes and the money's losing value? One and two, the taxes are gonna be higher in the future for an individual than they are right now. And even if it was at the same rate as far as the tax liability, the money's still depreciating. It's not outbeating inflation. If the money sitting in the 401k is not outbeating inflation, it's still losing money. I got it robbed. Okay. I got it self-directed. Right. But you're not doing a wealth principle that wealth people do. Wealth people take care of the tax liability immediately for anything that they're doing, business or an investment. Why do you think charity's non-taxable? To get rid of the liability. Business people wrote it for charities. The tax code. What makes it any different now? Hundreds of years later. What makes it any different now? Oh man, who didn't think of it like that? So charities intentionally, they take care of the tax liability? Yeah. That's how you control the population. Oh, don't look at it like that, Trust Christian in the fault. Oh, look at it like that. How could you tell me that? I went to public school. I got the welfare education. Okay. There's private educations that intentionally teach something that's different. People talk about life skills. Life skills. But then you go to certain private schools and that's what they teach you. Life skills. And you got children sitting in the public school talking about, man, all I want to do is just learn how to be the best chef in the world that I could ever be in the world. The best chef. A skill. Man, you want to talk about artists, architecture? What happened? We got into a scenario in the population where people got public educations. And when they think about public education, they think about that. They think about these public things. Oh, they told me to get a house so that could be an investment. How's a house that you live in an investment? Because I could write off the interest or something. Like this is the thought process. Oh man, the greatest investment a regular person gonna make in the world is buying a house. What? That one that you live in? They tricked you with that? Then you go to public school? They tricked you with that? It's reading and comprehension, correct? Correct. How is it? It's a liability to the bank. It's a liability to you. It's a liability to the bank. It's a liability to you. Why do they change up how much you have to put down if you're a business or an individual? Oh man, because I don't know. It sounds I don't know. And who gets bigger credit? Extensions, businesses or individuals. But oh no, Trust Christian, that's not rocket science. We know it's not. It's not rocket science. These are life skills. Understanding balance and check sheets and books. And having the right team. Having the right team for sure. Having the right team is essential. And we're going to do a series with this here. We're going to do a series with some professionals in the private banking sector. Oh, Trust Christian, I don't know a private banker. I went into the regular public retail bank. It was hard to open up a bank account. Right. How many banks did you go to? Oh, here we go. Then, I'm going to go open up a trust account, Trust Christian, because I'm going to be a generational wealth. How are you going to have more money than the bank? If you got more money than the bank, it might be a problem. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you got more money in the bank, they're your liability now. You're not their liability. Your business isn't their liability. You, they're your liability now. I'm going to go to the backwoods bank. I'm going to go to the bank and savings trust. I'm not going to just go open up an account with a big financial institution, of whether it's private or not. So when we talk about private, still some of the largest financial institutions holding more money than the public side government. Where the government is telling you we only can insure enough depositors in the United States up to $250,000. And hopefully it's not a run on the bank. It's not a run on the bank. I don't know what that is, Trust Christian in the Vault. I don't know what a run on the bank is. I got to research what a run on the bank. I didn't know you could run the bank. So the banks insure publicly 250, as they say. Okay, but what about the private one? Do you know about that? Well, let's talk about it. The private side, they already insured the greatest asset. It's not your house. The private side, they insured your greatest asset. It's not your car. They insured your greatest asset. It's not just the money. It's who? It's the person that's producing it. Now you have some real equitable value in life. Not legal value, because you were born as a citizen, you got a legal title to the name, and you got a birth certificate. No, equitable title. Somebody else is betting on you now. Who? The insurance company. They're taking a risk on you. You're insurable. You're bankable. You're a private bank now. Oh no, Trust Christian. I didn't know it was that easy. Oh no, Trust Christian. I didn't know that the humans are bankable. I have to go out and sweat of my brow. I have to go work hard to be valuable in the world. Then you have an insurance policy that's on your life and it gives you value. Equitable value that people try to use as collateral and otherwise. Oh man, I want to use things as collateral. I want to use my gold as collateral. I want to use my house as collateral. I want to use these things as collateral. But guess what? You the greatest collateral in the first place. You trade your time, your energy for the dollar bills. You're taking a risk. But I thought life insurance, it's like a life insurance. This says, how is that banking? It's life insurance. It's insuring collateral. You're collateral. You're collateral to your life. But it's supposed to be private first, not public. But have you been trained just in the public? Or do you understand that, hey, you know what? I now, and think about that. What makes it a private contract? It's without the government. How is it that a company that was around before the government can insure you without the government? That's how you know that people are out of the loop. And they got public educations. And then when you come to that realization that this information is going to serve for me to be serving the higher, instead of me having this plane of existence serve me. How are you going to get this plane of existence to serve you? You got to be a majority. You got to know how to read contracts, and you got to comprehend contracts. Now here we go. So we're going to break something down real quick. If it makes sense to both parties, because think about it, the nature of a contract, you have to understand the contract. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need an attorney. You got to read the contract yourself. You're the principal of your life. So since you're the principal of your life, you know that you know the contracts. When you know the contracts, it makes sense. That's why they call it the common law, because it makes sense. Common sense. Does the contract make sense? It's the common law. Something that we can all agree upon. The language isn't too complicated, fairly simple. We're all going to clearly understand what we're talking about. It's called the common law. Talking about common sense. And that's why you see For the most part, English ruled for a long time because they used common law, they used common sense amongst the people. They did their best to program people to use a general consensus of human behavior called common sense. Everything. Now, the tough part about common sense is every smart person knows this or elite knows this. To a degree, there is no such thing as common sense because everybody doesn't. Because in order for there to be common sense, it'll have to enable and share with us that we all have common experiences. You cannot have, if we don't have the same experience, how can you make sense of something if you never have went through it before? So common sense comes from common experiences. Most of us don't have common experiences. So how is it that they still were able to rule with common law? Because they have structure in the contract, which means if you read over this and it's got your name on it and your property title on it or otherwise, if you actually sign this with your name, you're considered liable. If you sign this with your name, you're considered aware of what's going on. Like, people think this stuff is so mundane. How is it mundane? You're a spiritual being. You're a spiritual being. You think they don't know that? You think that the general population of lawmakers don't know that? They know you're a spiritual being. That's why you sign what? A signature. You sign something into nature. You sign your mark on nature. It's a signature. It's very well thought out. So you have a signature that you sign into nature, giving a contract what? Life. So you can sue somebody or otherwise. But how many people playing with it? So how is that private contract not legitimate? And the powers that be that are in the private sector that deal with private contracts, they understand that as well. And we look forward to seeing you. Look forward to hosting you. Look forward to having you. Look forward to working with you. People in trust deal with people in trust. People in the private deal with people in the private. You're supposed to be dealing with private people. But how many people in the private, they playing with it? They doing business with people in the public. Oh man, the public, man. I don't know how to get out of the public. Are you engaging actively in pursuing private relationships? Christian at trustchristian.com is the email you can reach out to us at. Christian at trustchristian.com. We look forward to hearing from you all. Once again, private banking versus public banking. It can be a very broad and long conversation, but to keep it very simple, to keep it very eloquent, the focus is, are you engaging in the right contracts? Are you contract with the right people? How many people are engaged with the right people? And how do you find those relationships? Well, you first reach out to some initial relationships you know, and you ask them, do they know anyone? Where else could do you go? We share with one trustee. All right, hey trustee, hey, trust Christian, I want to be in the groups and the circles. Okay, first of all, if you're gonna join a club, you gotta go to the club. How you gonna be successful? You don't go join the club. You gotta go join the club. I mean, excuse me. You gotta go it to the club. You actually gotta go to the club. You gotta talk to people while you at the club. What, you gonna go to the club and not talk to people? It's a business club. It's an easy social networking for business. Are you going to the business club though? Church Christian, I told you, you told me to do it. I know I gotta do it. I gotta upgrade my association. I gotta get in the private wealth club. I gotta get in the country club. But I haven't done it because I still got cable. Right. Wealthy people have libraries, not TVs. You're not missing anything. Oh man, trust Christian. Hey, who are you? Who are you to say that? TV? I'm trying to watch, football season just started. Ain't no way I'm giving up football season, college football season, or otherwise for wealth time, for a library, for your children and your grandchildren to inherit so they can actually know what you know and have books and things that are coming out of circulation because we're in the digital era now. So think about that. Books are going to be even more valuable. The actual real book itself is going to be even more valuable because we're in that era. We're in that era. We're in that era where books have almost become obsolete. You just watch, you look at them on digital formats, and people think the money, oh, the money, man, the money, trust Christian and the more. You don't really know about the money, man, because the money isn't the paper, it's digital now. And then you got Bitcoin, it is the digital gold. You don't know, man. Everything's changing. Ain't nothing changing. What you talking about? Insurance has been around for over 300 years. It's been around for longer than the country. That's the real money. What are you talking about? The real money. Oh, trust Christian, the money's changing. The rules of money have changed. What are you talking about? Do you not understand? Sitting in these rooms, that's how bad it sounds when you walk out into the public and you hear people literally just sit on the internet. You can say anything. Hey, hey, here, get Bitcoin, digital gold, go ahead and get this coin, digital gold, hey, everything's changing, trust Christian. The banks, man, what you mean? Banks been going up and under since it started because it's a business. It's a charter. It's a business. They make money on deposits. They make money on loans. That's why you got your savings and loans bank. Loans and savings bank. But this is where we are in the population now where we got to have these conversations about the private banking. Oh, I'm trying to do that. I knew it was something out there. I heard it before. I felt it. But are you participating? Or you percolating? Or you mentally stimulating? Playing with it? Oh man, okay, I'm gonna get to that, man. Sunday football game's gonna be on. I gotta be ready. College on Saturday. I got look cookout. Go in the summer here strong. I trust Christian. I'm not gonna participate this week. Not next week. I got a few more weeks coming up. I gotta take some time. Go ahead and do that. Like really? But I'm private banking. I'm private wealth trust Christian. I'm going private wealth trust Christian. We're going private wealthy trust Christian. We're focused on private wealth, generational wealth. That's what we're doing. But we don't have our money going into policies because I'm still working a job. I still have job mentality. I don't think about doing private first. I don't think about entrepreneurship and creating first. I think about just applying and then showing up. And then if I get fired, I get unemployment insurance. You don't get fired. When you get fired in a business, there's no unemployment insurance. And they do have it. Whether you know it or not, as an entrepreneur, you can get some levels of insurances. And think about that once again. That's the insurance on you, the private banking policy. We look forward to providing a series to you guys with some professionals here. We have some from previous recordings, but we're going to give you guys a current update and talk to you guys in a little bit newer flavor and brand. And so go forward from there. But look forward to hearing from you guys. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, it's Christian at trustchristian.com. Look forward to hearing from you guys via email. And you all enjoy the rest of the day. Peace and joy.